welcome into the Max Stern Athletic Center. I'm Yosef Silver alongside my partner, Avery Stepner, and we are getting set for a monumental matchup between the Yeshiva University Maccabees and the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Now, Avery, these teams are very familiar with each other. They've played a bunch over the past couple seasons. We obviously had the semifinal game at Sarah Lawrence last year, so it's a rematch of that. Last year in the Max Stern Athletic Center, Eamon Kelly hit a half-court heave from right about there on the court to gain a 66-65 win for the Sarah Lawrence Griffins over the Maccabees. But this game obviously means a lot between two teams that really know each other well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the class of the Skyline Conference over the past couple of years. You mentioned last year's crazy games that they had. This year, Sarah Lawrence is sitting at 11-2, and they are in second place, right behind the Macs in their division. Both teams trying to get the 1 seed. With the win today, the Yeshiva Maccabees will clinch the #1 seed throughout the Skyline tournament. So a home game will be here at the Max Stern Athletic Center for a potential championship game, which would mean a lot to this Yeshiva team.
Yeah, and even a semifinal game we saw last year, the Max fans traveled well, but nothing like a home game here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Now, Avery, obviously in order to get that done, your stars are going to have to show up in the big moments. Who are we looking out for? What's the key matchup tonight for these teams?
Yeah, partner, it's going to be about the battle of the bigs. For Yeshiva, it's 3-time Skyline Player of the Week, Yoav Oselka, coming off a 27-9 performance. He was dominant against Mount St. Vincent. On the other side, it's going to be 6'10" Chris Doherty, an absolute monster in the paint. He leads Skyline in blocks, averages about 12 rebounds a game against Yeshiva throughout his career. He's a dominant force going against Oselka. That's going to be a huge matchup, and will probably decide who wins this game.
Well, one more meaning to tonight is, as this is the last home regular season game for the Maccabees this year, it's senior night. And this season, the Maccabees have a ton of seniors, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the ceremony for senior night after this.
We made it.
In the best way we can have a greater understanding of how significant having the State of Israel is to come visit.
I love Israel right now. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to stay here.
Booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. We're going to send it to the PA for the senior night ceremony and anthems.
Before we meet Yeshiva's 7 seniors, we will first take time out to acknowledge the 8 seniors from Sarah Lawrence College. Please put your hands together for number 3, Kyle Jefferson. Number 4, John Hughes. Number 5, Eitan Kelly. Number 10, Jarrett. Number 11, Mason Myers. Number 12, Freddie Burnham. Number 13, Dean Furlong. And number 42, Chris Doherty. Ladies and gentlemen, our first senior has been a stalwart presence for the Maccabees throughout his 4-year career. He's appeared in 42 games, including a career best 21 as a junior in the 24-25 season. This year, he's notched a career high, 7 points against Mount St. Vincent. Throughout his 1-year career, he served as a leader by example. His defense, energy, and overall dedication to the program will be sorely missed. Our first senior, Harvey Major from Israel, a 2-time Skyline Conference academic honorable recipient, and an MBB honors court choice with a 3.64 grade point average. The first senior is Todd Benson. career in 100 career games and 63 career starts. He's proven himself an asset in every facet of the game, notching 601 points, 384 rebounds, 244 assists, 97 steals, and 40 tackles. He's a sophomore who has 6 goals for the season, including 18 points and 11 rebounds. And there's over 3 first members much solidified the long run line, and the computer science making the 3.45 GPA for the Israel full-time project. He's fighting on just a good part. Our next singer, he's getting better and better, and the results of the quarters have been proven. First 4 years, this 6'5" showman has appeared in 104 games, starting 72. He's qualified himself as a consistent all-around contributor with 875 points, 418 rebounds, and 201 assists, while shooting 50% from the field. This senior year has been his best, posting double figures on 7 occasions, including a season-high 18 and a comeback win against NYU. As a sophomore,
Welcome back into the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Obviously, a lot of seniors for this Maccabee squad. Zevi Samit, Max Zakheim, Roy Itzkovich, Dotan Bardichev, Hillel Bainash, Tom Beza, and Ari Shklar. These guys have definitely made a huge impact throughout their time here, obviously on the court, but even off the court as well. Some of the guys even further down, Ari Shklar and Hillel Bainash in particular, those guys are such key parts of the team, even though you may not see it on the court, but in practice, off the court, just in hangouts in general. Those guys really mean a lot to this team, and next year is going to be very different without those staples of the Max roster.
Yeah, and I think it's one thing you notice and you observe as a student here in Yeshiva is how hard these people work. I mean, you watch the games like you said, and you see Zevi and Max and Dotan, they're getting all the minutes, but it's also Hillel and Ari Shklar and all these other guys who are really putting in the work. They're practicing just as much. They're waking up every day, early, doing all the right things, and that's what makes a program great, right? I think, a lot of people think what makes a program is can you get the top guys. It's also can you get, 1 through 15, 1 through 17, however many people are on your roster. Are those the right group of guys that mesh well together, put in the work, and are completely bought in? Like you mentioned, this team, this group of people have really accomplished a lot over the past few years. They made it to the tournament. They've won the conference, which is extremely impressive. And it's been a real pleasure to watch them play. And I'm looking forward to, the rest of the season and seeing how it unfolds. But definitely a shout out to those guys.
Now, of course, hopefully there are going to be many, many more games for this group together, later on down the stretch in the season. And the playoffs, which have already been clinched, and potentially more. But getting into tonight's matchup, Yeshiva versus Sarah Lawrence, like we mentioned before, these are two teams that are very, very familiar with each other. How have their previous matchups gone?
Yeah, so, you talked about the last couple of games. Last year, the crazy half-court shot, and then the playoff game that we were on the call for at Sarah Lawrence. Well, this year, these two teams played. It was an 8-point win for Yeshiva. Obviously, we remember Zevi Samit, 22 points, Yoav Oselka, 21 points. That's really something I want to highlight because we talked about it in the pregame, that Yoav versus Chris Doherty matchup. It's going to be interesting to see how Sarah Lawrence defends Yoav Oselka. A lot of teams will put their big man in the paint and kind of sag off of Oselka and use that big man as help because Yoav can't really shoot. But Yoav has done a great job punishing those teams this year with his off-ball movement, his cutting. So that'll be an interesting chess matchup between the two coaches and the two teams. On the other side, Sarah Lawrence kind of had a more balanced effort. We talked about before the game, Eamon Kelly, what an incredible player he is, shooting 40% from three, which is insane, at this level. So really good stuff from him. He had 15. Thomas Matanti, obviously the star from last year's semifinal game, nearly put a dagger in Yeshiva's season. He had 14 points. Brady Berman with 14 points. So expect a very balanced effort from Sarah Lawrence. If all those guys can add in a little bit, around 10 to 12 points, I think they got a good shot.
Yeah, and we'd like to give a huge shout out to Thomas Matanti's Mima, who was watching the game in the Noel Athletic Complex in Sarah Lawrence last year, and came over to us after the game and was just so thankful and so appreciative of all the work that we do. So shout out to Thomas Matanti's Mima. Another thing to note about tonight's game is that you talked about Zevi at 22 and Yoav at 21. Roy had 18 points, a season high for him. In the last matchup against Sarah Lawrence. He is still out with an injury. He should be back either on Wednesday's game or for the playoffs the following Tuesday. But that could be something to note for the Maccabees, missing their star forward.
Yeah, and I think, the obvious answer to that is going to be Dotan. Last game we saw him play. He had 10 and 10. He had a double-double. He did an admirable job filling in for that role. So I think he's obviously someone to look out for. Noah Medry has come along as the season's progressed. He's got really good touch around the paint and can add some of that offensive versatility that Roy provides. So look for those two guys to step up. And we saw last game against Mount St. Vincent, the bench went really deep. Everyone had a great game, so maybe some of those guys get some minutes tonight, who you don't expect. I would highlight Johnny Dan as one of those guys potentially. We're looking forward to see who gets the opportunity.
And we're going to send it down to the PA for anthems. Don't go anywhere.
Please welcome Eitan who will perform the national anthem of the United States and Israel.
booth once again. I'm Yosef Silver alongside my partner Avery Stepner. We'd like to thank JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, for broadcasting this game on national television. JBS is dedicated to strengthening Jewish identity and education through their 24/7 programming. It's an incredible platform for sharing these games, and we're so grateful for the support of the Hode family for once again making this season's TV broadcast possible. Tonight's starting lineups are sponsored by the Yeshiva University Office of Admissions. As you start your college journey, make sure you visit us online to check out all the great virtual events and opportunities we have for YU students and how you too can be a Maccabee. Starting at guard, the 5'10 senior from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 5, Eamon Kelly. Starting at guard, the 6'2 sophomore from Kansas City, Missouri, number 2, Andrew Kim. Starting at guard, the 6'3 freshman from White Plains, New York, number 21, Gabe Downs. Starting at guard, the 6'4 senior from San Diego, California, number 12, Brady Berman. Starting at center, the 6'10 senior from Charleston, South Carolina, number 32, Chris Doherty. And the Griffins are coached by head coach Chris Amer, who is now in his 14th season. And for your home Yeshiva University Maccabees, starting at guard, the 6' senior from Bergenfield, New Jersey, number 23, Max Zackheim. Starting at guard, the 6'2 senior from Muncie, New York, number 12, Zevi Samet. Starting at guard, the 6'7 freshman from Rishon LeZion, Israel, number 11, Yair Dovrat. Starting at forward, the 6'6 senior from Ein Vered, Israel, number 22, Dotan Bardachev. And starting at forward, the 6'7 junior from Givatayim, Israel, number 55, Yoav Oselka. The Maccabees are coached by head coach Elliot Steinmetz, who's now in his 12th season. Assistant coaches for the Maccabees, Joe Schwartz, Eli Katz, Abi Rosso, Adi Markovich, Ronnie Ganelin, and Yoni Cohen. Shout out to Yoni Cohen watching the game from Israel. Was not able to make it tonight, but thank you for tuning in and watching the game. Now, Avery, we talked a lot about these teams going in. You know, very senior heavy for Sarah Lawrence. We have Eamon Kelly, Andrew Kim as a senior, Brady Berman, Chris Doherty for the Maccabees. It's Zackheim, Samet, and Dotan Bardachev. What do you, from your high school experience, what is it like for these seniors, especially for the Maccabees, playing their potential last regular season home game in the Maccabees uniform?
Yeah, I think it really does mean a lot, and especially, the turnout tonight has been awesome. There's a lot of fans here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. This team has really been supported by the fans, and that's really what means the most. It's, it's not just that you're playing, it's who you're playing for. I was grateful at my high school. We had a lot of fans that came to every game. They really supported us, and it means a lot. So, obviously we have a lot of gratitude towards the players and what they provided for our program, for the school, but also the players, I'm sure, have a lot of appreciation for the fans and everyone else here, part of the Yeshiva University's family. So it's really a beautiful relationship through and through, and that's why sports is just the best.
Definitely agreed. It's going to be Oselka versus Chris Doherty on the tip. Doherty with that big frame, but Oselka is able to tip it to Zackheim, and the Macs will start with the ball. Bardachev top of the key. Now it's Oselka. Throws it up top to Samet, inside to Zackheim. Zackheim working on Brady Berman. Dribbles around, throws it up, and lands the jumper. Max Zackheim, quick 2 points for the Maccabees. Defense chants already starting from the Yeshiva fans as they've really packed out the gym on senior night here and alumni night at this farm sale. As it's Kim taking Zackheim inside, and Andrew Kim with a quick response for Sarah Lawrence. Zevi Samet working the other way. Gets double teamed by Doherty. And now it's Dotan Bardachev. Oselka quickly threw it to Samet in the corner, who couldn't handle it but got it back. And now it's Yair Dovrat at the top. They're going to do this pick and roll with Oselka. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Dovrat throws it to Dotan. Dotan going to work inside, pulls up from the free throw line, and gets it. 4-2 Maccabees lead.
Yeah, that started with the screen by Yoav Oselka, and what's key about that is Sarah Lawrence likes to keep Chris Doherty in the paint because he's so tall and he can affect a lot of shots near the basket. If you can bring him out to the perimeter by setting screens using Yoav Oselka, it can be very beneficial.
That's a deep three from Brady Berman, and Berman lands the triple. 5-3 now, Sarah Lawrence up top, as it's Max Zackheim taking it down for Yeshiva.
Yeah, you saw the last couple possessions for the Yeshiva offense have been a little lengthy as there's Sammy on a cut inside that's stolen.
As now it's Eamon Kelly taking it the other way. Brady Berman trying to push inside against Oselka. Kelly up top to the freshman Gabe Downs. Downs moving inside on Samet, loses the handle. Ball's on the floor. And it ends up in Maccabee's possession as nobody could get it from the scrum on the floor. Zevi Samet. Now it's Dotan. Thought about the deep triple. Inside from Oselka to Max Zakheim. And great find by Yoav Oselka.
Yeah, and one interesting thing, as I was mentioning before, is that both these teams, we mentioned the familiarity that they have. Yeshiva's offense is so unique that a lot of teams get caught by surprise by it. And there's a great take by Kim into the paint, beating Max off the dribble. You know, a lot of teams are surprised by the Yeshiva offense, but Sarah Lawrence has seen them maybe more than anyone, so they really understand what they're getting themselves into. It'll be interesting to see if there are any adjustments by Coach Steinmetz, to add a few wrinkles.
As now it's Zakheim looking to respond for YU. Oselka going to move inside, goes up with it, gets the bucket and the foul. Great job by Yoav Oselka working his way inside, drawing the foul, and earning himself an opportunity for extra points.
And one problem when you're playing against Yoav Oselka, as you see on the replay, when you have Chris Doherty playing in the paint, is it gives Yoav Oselka an unlimited runway, right? He gets full steam ahead. There's no resistance by any defender, so he's just barreling into you. And Yoav Oselka, standing at 6'8", he's a powerful guy. It's hard to stay in front of him. So he's able to just use that strength against you, bump you, gets an and one. It's one of his best moves, and a good start for Yoav.
As now it's Andrew Kim. And that's stolen away by Oselka, who regains the handle, throws it forward to Dovrat. And now it's Dotan Barditchev as the Macs will slow down the offense. Zevi Samit, top of the key, three lands for the sharp shooter, Zevi Samit. Now 11-7, Maccabees lead 3 minutes in. Now it's Doherty, Sarah Lawrence looking to respond. Samit comes out to meet Downs, who shoots for three, back iron, rebound Yair Dovrat. Dovrat throwing it down, no look, pass forward to Zakheim. What a play from quarterback Yair Dovrat, as that's going to force a timeout from Coach Chris Amer and Sarah Lawrence.
Yeah, it was a great hit ahead by Yair Dovrat. Pardon me, you saw he looked towards the sideline and still made a perfect pass. I think Coach Amer called a timeout because his team just has not been getting back in transition early on. You know, it's 5 points off of turnovers by Yeshiva. They're running up and down the court. Sarah Lawrence's defense has not been able to get set. We saw Yeshiva also get a couple of open layups off backdoor cuts for Max Zakheim. So I think you got to clean a lot of the little things up if you're Sarah Lawrence. You know, make sure you're more disciplined. But it starts offensively, Yosef. It starts with running your offense. If you're Sarah Lawrence, making sure you're getting a full possession, getting a good shot up, you know, having a chance at an offensive rebound, and then getting back defensively.
Yeah, and I think for the Maccabees, right, they're up 13-7. It's really been a lot of transition, a lot of passing. Once again, you know, the Macs are 6 for 6 from the field, which is definitely what you want to see for the Maccabees. As now it's Andrew Kim. Kim thought about taking the screen, Oselka all the way out to meet him, and now it's Brady Berman, deep three. Couldn't get it, rebounded, but taken by Zakheim. Zevi Samit looking to push with Chris Doherty stuck in the backcourt, and now they'll slow down. Into the corner for Dotan. Dotan forced Chris Doherty out, now throws it back up top. Dotan Barditchev, top of the key. Oselka, now Samit, Zevi Samit given space. Couldn't land at that time, 13-7. Still for the Maccabees is Brady Berman taking it down. Now it's Andrew Kim. Doherty, hands off to Eamon Kelly, who throws it inside. Beautiful passing from Sarah Lawrence, and that's easy for Gabe Downs.
Yeah, and it starts with these guards. Andrew Kim and Eamon Kelly are so calm, cool, and collected coming off of those screens. Yeshiva tried to double them, try to force some turnovers. Not on that play. They make the right read right away, and they find an open layup.
As now it's Zakheim. Oselka at the elbow, cross court to Dotan. Barditchev moving up, and now it's Dovrat. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Yair Dovrat moving inside, stops, throws to Zakheim. Wide open three for Zakheim. And Max Zakheim couldn't get it. Ball bounced up, hit the sixth defender. That little string on top of the basket. It's going to be Sarah Lawrence ball.
Yeah, that was a good read by Yair Dovrat coming off that screen. A little Luka Doncic-esque, putting a guy on his back hip. I think we've seen a lot of progression from him from a ball handling perspective as it's become a more focal point of this Yeshiva offense.
As now it's Doherty. Gives it over to Downs at the wing. Downs going to take Salmon inside. Goes over and under the hoop. Rebounded by Doherty and taken away by Max Zakheim. Zakheim pushing down, and now he's going to slow down. Aggressive defense from Brady Berman to stop the transition. Dotan in the corner, 4-3. Dotan Barditchev is absolute cash from the corner. 16-9 Yeshiva lead.
Yeah, we highlighted Dotan and Roy's absence. Sarah Lawrence playing off of him a little, kind of a pick your poison type of defense, as they're so worried about Salmon and Oselka, as Doherty almost took off there. But I think he was ready. I think he was ready to throw it down and go on to Sports Center. But yeah, they're trying to play off Dotan a little bit, give him some room. But that's a big mistake, because Dotan's become a really efficient three-point shooter over the years.
As now it's Dovrad inside to Oselka. Oselka working on Doherty. Couldn't land the layup, but now it's Dotan Bardicha for Zevi Samet for three. And Zevi Samet once again perfect from deep.
Zevi Samet, I think one rule as a coach that you have to make is never leave him until your team has secured a rebound. You don't even go in to secure a rebound if you're taking Zevi Samet, because he's always a threat to make a shot. As there's a timeout forced by Yeshiva on Andrew Kim. What a start by the Macs.
Yeah, great defense there by Mag Zakheim. It's going to be a timeout from Sarah Lawrence by the veteran guard, Andrew Kim. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey Macs fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Macs!
Defending Israel with David Harris, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on JBS.
Welcome back into the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. 13:48 remaining here in this first half. Yeshiva leads 19-11 against the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Avery, what have you seen from these teams so far?
Yeah, the key is the shot discrepancy is by 3 right now. Yeshiva's got 3 more shots. Sarah Lawrence has 3 turnovers. Sarah Lawrence has not valued their possessions enough, as there's a good take by Chris Doherty. When you come into the Max Stern Athletic Center, a hostile road environment, you need to take care of the ball. If you can't do that, then Yeshiva's going to jump ahead because they're so efficient offensively, shooting 50% from the field as a team.
That's Zevi Samet. A turnaround, Jay, is good. Zevi Samet, once again, another great scoring performance from him thus far, now up to 8 points on the night. As it's Kim looking for a man, finds Brady Berman. Now Downs. Downs tries to move inside on Samet. And now it's Doherty at the wing. Dribbling around, picks up his dribble, looking for a man, finds Berman. Brady Berman jacks up a triple, couldn't get it, as Doherty was fighting with Zakheim for the rebound, and he'll get called for a foul.
And Yeshiva's doing a really good job on these dribble handoffs. You'll watch on the next possession to try to use guys like Chris Doherty giving dribble handoffs to some of the creators on the Sarah Lawrence offense. Try to give them some space. Yeshiva not budging. They're hedging it correctly. They're playing the right defense. And they're up by 8.
Up by 8 are the Yeshiva University Maccabees, 21-13, as it's now Yoav Oselka. Hands it off for Dovrad, who puts up another triple. And yeah, here's Dovrad. He's so smooth on those deep shots. And Yair Dovrad brings the lead to double digits, as it's now Yeshiva 24, Sarah Lawrence 13. Into the game for Sarah Lawrence, number 31, Thomas Matanti, headed into the game for number 5, Eamon Kelly. Now it's Gabe Downs. Oselka comes up to meet him off the screen, and they're going to get Yoav Oselka. That's not a smart foul for Yoav.
Yeah, Yoav had his hand in there, called for a reach. This is going to be a tough game for number 21. Gabe Downs, his first game in the Max Stern Athletic Center. He's a freshman. He's really talented. Coach Amer had a lot of good things to say about him, but when you come into an environment like this with all these seniors and juniors on the court that have played so much against each other, as Matanti drills a 3, not the guy you want to leave open.
Yeah, and that's one guy for Yeshiva who, we saw it in the semifinal game last year. He led the Griffins with 28 points, shot 6 of 8 from 3. He was almost, him and Zevi Samet were going back and forth on the buckets. That is not a guy you want to give space from deep. And now it's inside to Samet. Zevi Samet, great job creating space on Matanti. And the 2 scorers for these 2 teams going back and forth. Brady Berman working inside, throws it up, couldn't get it, rebounded by Oselka. Now Zakheim looks to push for YU. Gets himself past Matanti, takes the lane, and couldn't land the layup. But he'll get called for, Sarah Lawrence will get called for a foul. Max Zakheim gonna head to the line.
Yeah, I like the energy that Max is playing with today. You know, whether it's off the ball with his cutting or pushing up the court, I think Yeshiva has clearly won the pace battle today. You just see them running up and down. Sarah Lawrence has not been able to keep up. I think one interesting thing about the Sarah Lawrence lineup is they got a lot of shooters on the court. Matanti, Gayruz, Kelly, all great shooters in their own right. Brady Berman can create his own shot. Sarah Lawrence needs some offense, only 16 points so far. They got to settle into this game as they're down by 12.
As the free throw was good from Zachheim. So now it's 28-16. It's going to be Matanti, gets bumped by Zachheim, but powers through the contact and hits the jumper. Good response there from Sarah Lawrence, 28-18. Maccabees lead. Maccabee still with their starting five, with the exception of Joe Shanzer came into the game for Dotan. As now Zachheim going to take Matanti inside, kicks it out. Now it's Oselka, and Oselka with another jumper. So we'll have Oselka now up to 4 points. As it's John Carew seeing his first action for Sarah Lawrence. Brady Berman, and he gets bumped by Joe Shanzer. That's going to be a foul on the floor. Subs for Yeshiva, number 25, Noam Edry, and number 22, Zotan Bardichev into the game. Oselka and Yair Dovrat taking a seat. As now it's John Carews. Brady Berman at the wing. Back to Carews. Thought about the handoff for Kelly, but takes Bardichev inside. And that pass is stolen by Zevi Samet. Zevi Samet powering through the lane. And Zevi Samet hitting the layup in transition. Now a 14-point lead for the Maccabees. Brady Berman. And now it's Carews. Chris Doherty with a triple. That one was way off. And Max Zachheim does a great job to box out Carews and allow the ball to go out of bounds. It's going to be Yeshiva basketball.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to call a foul on that. Maybe an over-the-back type call. I don't think they will. But how about the read by Zevi Samet defensively? Such a smart player. You know, I think it's one of his most underrated attributes as a star player is his intelligence and his ability to read and react, and earning himself 2 points on the last play.
As now into the game for Max Zachheim is number 33, Johnny Dan, a.k.a. the microwave for Yeshiva. As now it's Edry with a handoff to Samet, back to Edry. Beautiful back and forth from the Maccabees. Edry puts it up and couldn't get it, but Johnny Dan is there for the rebounds. Johnny Dan couldn't land it. I thought maybe there was some contact, but that's going to go out of bounds off of Johnny Dan and Yeshiva.
Yeah, I got to say, partner, as far as nicknames are concerned, the microwave might be one of the better ones to be given. Obviously, no shortages of nicknames for Yeshiva. We got the Red Rocket, the Stark Shooter, the Muncie Mamba, the Microwave. I like the sound of that. I wish someone else would call me the Microwave. As
Zevi Samet got nutmegged on that pass, now it goes out to Matanti. Andrew Kim back into the game for Sarah Lawrence, tries to throw it up, and Andrew's going to get fouled. They get it called for the foul, as Andrew Kim is going to head to the line for two.
Yeah, one thing I think Edry needs to get a little better at over the next few games next year is moving his feet defensively, following the play. I think a couple times he's stepped behind, kind of keeping his hands up, but gets called there. That's going to be on the ground. I thought it was going up, but
as did I. But it looks like it's going to be baseline. Sarah Lawrence going to take it out baseline. It's going to be Andrew Kim on the inbound. Thomas Matanti. Now Kim. Maccabees all the way out to meet him. Now it's Carews inside in the high post. Gives it over to Matanti. Matanti throws it up and gets it to go. Thomas Matanti with another as he goes out to press Zevi Samet. Samet working on Matanti, now gives it to Dotan. Edry. Now to Shanzer in the corner. Up top to Bardichev. 10 seconds on the shot clock. It's Zevi Samet being defended by Eamon Kelly. Samet down low. Beautiful pass from Zevi Samet to Noam Edry. And works to perfection. Yeshiva up 14 still, now 34-20 Maccabees lead. Eamon Kelly. Carews. Kim. Back to Eamon Kelly. Kelly jacks up a deep triple. Couldn't get it. Rebound taken by Dotan. As now it's Samet. Samit, a triple of his own. Back iron. And great job by Noam Etri fighting for the rebound. That's going to bounce off Thomas Matanti and stay Yeshiva's way.
Yeah, I think one indication of the game we're watching right now is the shot selection of both these teams. You know, Zevi Samit calmly, with a few seconds left in the shot clock, making a great pass down low. Noam Etri, and on the other end, early on in the shot clock, Eamon Kelly firing a deep three. I think Yeshiva's pressure and physicality defensively has Sarah Lawrence a little rattled.
As now it's going to be Dovid inbounding under the hoop. Gives it to Edry. Johnny Dan, down low to Edry. Up top to Dotan. Bardachev on the three, front iron. Rebound taken by Max Zakheim. Now it's Edry working on the big man, Chris Doherty. Tries to power through inside, gets blocked. And is able to fight for the ball. Throws it back to Zakheim, who's going to power through the lane. And the Red Rocket earning himself 2 free throws. Seems every bounce going the Maccabees' way thus far.
Yeah, and it's no mystery why that's happening. Yeshiva's played really hard, and Sarah Lawrence is interesting. On that play, you saw Max get the offensive rebound. Sarah Lawrence leads the Skyline Conference, on the season with 14 offensive rebounds a game. But Yeshiva just putting in a little bit more effort and getting these 50-50 balls.
As first one no good, Yosef Sucker checking back into the game. Noam Edry taking a seat. Subscribe to Max Live on YouTube to make sure you do not miss any amazing Max games and highlights this season. Please make sure to like the video, comment down below. You're already on the YouTube page anyway. It just takes a second and really mean a lot to us and help us get Maccabees basketball out there. So we thank you for that. Zakheim connected on the second, now a 15-point lead for Yeshiva. Gabe Downs gives it over to Berman. Now it's Doherty. Back to Downs, who takes an elbow J. And with Roy Itzkovich out for tonight, Gabe Downs picking up the slack with those elbow jumpers as he connects. Now 35-22 for Yeshiva. About 7.5 to go. Zakheim. Now Dovid. Johnny Dan. Good ball movement here from the Maccabees. That's a wide open Dotan who gets fouled by Doherty. That's going to be Doherty's second, which you wonder if Coach Amer is going to have to bring the big man to the bench with just over 7 minutes here in this first half.
Yeah, I think the timing of that is really crucial with 7 minutes left. You can't risk him getting to his third this early in the game. I think you have to take him out. It doesn't seem like Coach Amer is going to do that. But, he's a guy that you're definitely going to need in the game later on when, it's crunch time. So I'd be a little more conservative and give him a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, I wonder if Coach Amer's thinking, it's already 14 points. If we bring him to the bench, how much worse could it get?
Yeah, I think another aspect of this is Yeshiva is shooting 50% from three, 63% from the field, which is, not really sustainable. You can do it for, a few stretches here or there, but they've been really, really efficient today. So I think Coach Amer is betting that they're going to, basketball's a game of runs, and Sarah Lawrence might get hot soon and, bring it back. There's a really nice cut back door by Eamon Kelly. Can't get the layup to go.
As now it's going to be Zakheim, despite some pressure from Beatty Berman. Nosselko left all alone with Chris Doherty sagging. That's a three from Yair Dovid. And Yair Dovid a perfect 2 of 2 from deep.
Yair Dovid and Eamon Kelly having some worries on the way down. Yair Dovid welcoming himself to this rivalry. But I think that's really crucial if you can have, as we talked about throughout the season, a secondary shot creator in Yair Dovid. That can bring a lot to this Max offense.
As now it's Downs working inside. Berman trying to create space against Johnny Dan. Now cuts in, goes up with the layup. And what a play from Brady Berman to get the 2 points for Sarah Lawrence. Zakheim, Matanti on him. Oselka over to Dovid. Oselka and Dovid back and forth. Zakheim down low to Yair Dovid. He's got a size advantage if he wants it against Eamon Kelly. Now pulls up, and that's good from Yair Dovid, now up to 8 points on the night.
One thing Yair does really well is use his size. You mentioned it on that play. Recognizes he had the smaller defender on him and uses his height to get the shot off.
And now it's Downs trying to work inside on Bardachev, but Dotan going to get called for a foul as Bardachev and Johnny Dan going to take a seat. Zevi Sam and Joe Shanzer back into the game for the Maccabees, and Andrew Kim back into the game for the Griffins, with Thomas Matanti headed to the bench.
I think it's an interesting move taking Thomas Matanti out. He's been a really good source of offense, 7 of the 24 coming from him. And I think he's someone that definitely needs to be seen in the court a little more as this game progresses if Sarah Lawrence wants to win.
As now it's Kelly taking the handoff from Downs. Turnaround Jay. Couldn't land, but rebound taken by Kim off the tip from Chris Doherty. And Kim driving inside is able to draw contact from Shanzer. Andrew Kim going to head to the line for 2.
I think Eamon Kelly has been settling a little bit too much. We saw this deep 3 a couple possessions ago. We're seeing another turnaround Jay. You know, there's been a really good defensive effort by Yeshiva, especially coming off these dribble handoffs and screens. They communicated well. You know, I would try to make a more team-based approach if I was Sarah Lawrence. When you're coming off these screens, maybe hit a pass to the wing, let your offense flow through a couple times. You know, just try to work to get a good shot. You're not going to get all 17 points back on one possession.
As now number 34, Nate Jacobs going to head into the game. Joe Shanzer with those 2 fouls going to head to the bench. 5.5 remaining. Yeshiva up 42-25. Andrew Kim at the line. Couldn't land the second one. The rebound is free and taken by Yair Dovrat. Max Zakheim. He's been electric, especially early tonight. And that pass from Osako is tipped away and taken by Chris Doherty. Sarah Lawrence in transition. Brady forward to Chris Doherty. And Chris Doherty almost had the dunk but got his own rebound and landed the 2 points.
Yeah, it's a dunk contest tonight. I think Chris Doherty is close to getting one. He's gotten up a couple times. And I think, Yosef, your call might be on SportsCenter.
And Zevi Samet, oh my goodness.
And speaking of SportsCenter, Zevi Samet, a highlight reel of his own. He's got 15 here in the first half. The YU's all-time leading scorer living up to that tonight.
And now it's Gabe Downs. Thought about the 3, then pulls the trigger and lands the 3. As now it's 45-30 is the Yeshiva lead with just about 4.5 to go. Pass was tipped away by Eamon Kelly. And going to stay Maccabee's way.
Sarah Lawrence going to press right now. That's a big risk. Obviously, Yeshiva, a very smart veteran team, has traditionally been able to break press like that as their Samet trying to get inside. But I think it is time for Sarah Lawrence to gamble, try to get themselves a few, easy buckets.
As that's a great cross from Dovrat, but couldn't finish the play with the triple. And going to be taken by Doherty over to Kelly. Hands off to Kelly, and Kelly for 3. Couldn't get it. They're going to say that was off. It hit the 6th defender. I don't know if it did. Brady Berman doesn't think so either. But either way, going to be Maccabee's ball. 4:05 remaining here in the Max Stern Athletic Center on a wonderful senior night, as the Maccabee seniors definitely showing out. Zevi Samet up to 15 points, Max Zakheim with 9, Dotan Bardashev with 7. And there's the aforementioned Samet stopping on a dime to put it up and drawing the foul from Brady Berman, which means that Zevi Samet, who is the Skyline leader in free throw shooting percentage, is going to head to the line for 2.
Zevi Samet has just, torched the Sarah Lawrence team over the years. And I'm going to read you some of the scoring outputs he's had dating back a couple years. 27, 23, 25, 26, 34, 22. Just insane scoring outputs. And you think Sarah Lawrence would maybe be a little more disciplined. They're just losing him on these cuts and these backdoor screens. I think you have to at least consider switching them, even though you don't want to. But Zevi Samet has had way too much room operating offensively tonight, especially off the ball.
And Samet, as usual, a perfect 2 of 2 from the line, as that's inside to a wide-open Gabe Downs, and he won't miss from that range.
Andrew Kim's been really impressive handling the defensive pressure. He's found a couple of backdoor cuts so far today.
And now it's Osaka at the elbow, throws it up top to Samet, takes the quick screen, and Zevi Samet couldn't connect. Rebound taken by Nate Jacobs. Zevi Samet, another try. That one's good. Zevi Samet, yet another 3. Now 50 points for Yeshiva with still 3 minutes to go in the first half. Now it's Kim being doubled. Outside to Downs. Back to Kim up top. Kim going to take Zakheim inside. Now stops, tries to throw it up. couldn't connect. Good job by Oselka. And Yoav Oselka gonna get called for a foul. Fans here definitely don't like it, as that's gonna be Oselka's second, probably sending him to the bench for the rest of the half.
Yeah, not sure about that one. It looked like, to me, Chris Doherty reached over him. I guess maybe they thought Yoav was holding down his arm. Could go either way, but that's a huge call. Instead of Chris Doherty getting his third and definitely going to the bench the rest of the half, Yoav Oselka takes a seat with 2 fouls.
And now Eamon Kelly tried to work his way around inside. And good job by a tag team of Zachheim and Yair Dovrat to force the miss. Dotan Mardichev, wide open. Nate Jacobs down low, didn't see him. As now it's Dovrat working inside on Kelly. Turnaround Jay, couldn't get it. And now it's it's Kyle Jefferson for Sarah Lawrence. Now Eamon Kelly, Chris Doherty inside. Fans wanted to walk. Pass is tipped away from Zachheim forward to Salmon. Zevi Salmon, what a Euro step from Zevi Salmon on the layup. Zevi Salmon now up to 22 points on the day. And he may break
we've seen it all today. We've seen a couple of threes. We've seen some Euro steps. We've seen turnaround jumpers. I mean, it's the full display on senior night for the senior all-time leading scorer, Zevi Salmon.
Yeah, and that was assisted by Zachheim. He's up to 3 assists on the day, and that was just his 5th rebound. So Max Zachheim, despite the 9 points, also contributing in other ways as Zachheim, Max Zachheim powered through the lane, threw it to Zevi Salmon, and Zevi Salmon up to 24 points. Max playing at such a high pace, I can't even catch my breath, as now it's Andrew Kim for the Griffins. Throws it inside. That's Morrell. Deep 3 from Kyle Jefferson, no good, but Morrell on the rebound. Aiden Morrell with a 3 of his own. That once again couldn't go, as it's been all Yeshiva 7-0 run in the last 2 minutes for the Maccabees. Throws it inside. That's Dotan to Max Zachheim, the senior connection. And Max Zachheim now up to double-digit points on the night. Now 11, 6, and 4 for the senior captain, the Red Rocket, Max Zachheim. Chris Doherty trying to work inside on Dotan. He'll throw it up. Couldn't get it, and that's going to be a foul on Dotan for a hold. And he admits that right away. It's 43.4 seconds to go. Yeshiva up 56-32. Johnny Dan checking into the game for Yair Dovrat. And it's really been all Maccabees over the past couple minutes.
Yosef, obviously it's been, this Max offense has been a buzzsaw here. 56 points in the first half against a really good Sarah Lawrence team. But it's been the defense that's really impressed me. They're holding Sarah Lawrence in an inefficient game, only shooting 25% from three-point range and only 32 points a half. Yeshiva, just a dominant all-around performance. We'll see if they can cap it off here at the end of the half.
As Doherty couldn't connect, deep 3 from Dotan. And who isn't hitting a 3 tonight for the Maccabees as Dotan Mardichev connects again. His second 3 of the night, and now he's into double digits in the first half. With 20 seconds to go, I'd imagine Sarah Lawrence going to dribble out, wait for one final shot, as now it's Zachheim, throws it forward to Zevi Salmon. Zevi Salmon on the layup, blocked by Andrew Kim, but he'll get called for a foul. As Zevi Salmon with the opportunity to propel the Maccabees to over 60 points in one half.
Yeah, almost doubling Sarah Lawrence's total. How about Max Zachheim? They talked about one of the all-time leading steals in Yeshiva University history. And we're about to get a cool moment here as some of the seniors are going to check in with the final 13 seconds.
As now Tom Beza, Ari Shklar, and Hillel Bainash going to check into the game with 13.4 seconds to go here in this first half. And one thing we want to let you fans know is that we have a special show at halftime. We're not even going to go to commercial. We're just going to stay here for it. So don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this special performance here in the Max Stern Athletic Center at halftime. As Samet connects on the second, he'll head to the bench. Tom Beza into the game. 61-32. The Maccabees almost doubling up the Griffins here in this first half. As Andrew Kim with 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, 7 seconds. Andrew Kim being doubled, now tripled. Throws it up to Kelly, wide open is Aiden Morrell, who jacks up a 3, no good. And they cannot get the rebound. And a dominant first half from the Yeshiva University Maccabees. 61-32 lead for the Maccabees as they head into the locker room.
right-hand partner on the last possession. You had 5'7" Hill Bayonesh boxing out 6'10" Chris Doherty. It's been an all-around effort for the Macs today. It's been really impressive to watch the energy and the talent when they combine like this and they merge. It's on full display with almost a 30-point lead. It's a 29-point lead for the Macs.
Yeah, just an incredible job. We'd also like to give a shout out to our tech team, Jarrett, Lazarus, and Eitan Traurig for putting together this highlight montage here in this first half. And I believe in anticipation for the show, we're going to send it to a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
We made it.
And the best way we can have a greater understanding of how significant having the state of Israel is to come visit.
And I love Israel right now. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to stay here.
And welcome in. We have a special performance from the Breakdancing Bros here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned, as I believe they're getting ready, and we're actually going to send it down to the PA for the performance.
Macs Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS, is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Macs.
Jewish Insights with Justin Pines, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on JBS.
Hey Macs fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. I'm coming to you today from our distribution center. We could not do this without you. Without all your support over the years, we could never feed hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis. Please continue to help us, and of course,
We made it.
In the best way we can have a greater understanding of how significant having the state of Israel is to come visit.
Gonna love Israel right now. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to stay here.
Macs Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS, is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Macs.
Hey Macs fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Macs!
Macs Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS, is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Macs. Macs Live, Yeshiva University men's basketball on JBS is made possible in part by Janet and Lior Hod and family, in memory of Moshe Kranzler and Dov Saba Hod, Zichronam Livracha, both of whom loved the Macs.
Defending Israel with David Harris, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on JBS.
And welcome back into the Max Athletic Center as the Yeshiva University Macs lead the Sarah Griffins by a score of 61-32. We're going to set down to our sideline. Ryan, stand by. Ryan, take it away.
Thanks, Yosef. Tonight, everyone is celebrating all season long, especially tonight. All of the accomplishments on the court. So right now, let's talk a little bit about our squad.
Shooting Sarah Lawrence, you know, they're passing the ball better, they got better assists, less turnovers. I really think what's made this such a big margin, a 29-point game, has been the margins of this game. Yeshiva has out-rebounded Sarah Lawrence by 9 rebounds on the game, 1 extra offensive rebound as well, 8 extra defensive rebounds. Another huge stat is Yeshiva's got 10 fast break points to Sarah Lawrence's 0. So what that tells you is that Yeshiva just has more energy. They're getting up and down the court a lot quicker. And, you know, you can see on their screen the obvious here. Yeshiva has been shooting the lights out of the ball, 66.7% from the field, 57% from 3. They also got about 8 more free throws. They're 9 for 11 from the free throw line. Sarah Lawrence is only 1 for 3. So you can really look to anything. 15 assists for YU, only 7 for Sarah Lawrence, 6 steals for YU, only 2 for Sarah Lawrence. You know, Sarah Lawrence is a really great basketball program. You know, this is a team that's definitely going to be a factor in the Skyline playoffs. But it's been extremely, extremely impressive to see how Yeshiva has utterly dissected this Griffins team. It's been really fun to watch, and it's exciting to see what the second half has in store for us, partner.
Yeah, it definitely should be a good one, as it seems that everything has gone right so far in the first half for the Maccabees, as they lead 61-32. We're just about getting ready to start the second half. We'd like to let you know that, as is tradition here at Max Live, we're going to do some parent interviews here in the second half. So stay tuned for those, as Ari Shklar, Zevi Samet, and Max Zakheim all have family in the crowd. We're obviously going to love to hear from them. Ari Shklar's parents making it up all the way from South Carolina. That should be a good interview. So stay tuned for our sideline reporter, Zachary Sicklick, who will be standing by with those interviews. Yeah,
partner, I hope one day we can interview Mama Silver as well. Shout out to Silver's mom. You know, always watching the games. Big fan. So shout out, Mom.
Big shout out to Mama Stepner as well. As we are starting things back up here in the Max Stern Athletic Center, Sarah Lawrence Griffins going to look to turn things around, as it's Gabe Downs being defended by Zevi Samet. Now Eamon Kelly. Kelly gets doubled, throws it forward. Now it's Downs in the corner, 4-3, in and out, rebounded by Oselka. Zevi Samit pushing forward for the Macs. Throws cross court to Dotan. Great pass from Samit. And they're going to say Dotan's foot was out of bounds. And Sarah Lawrence is going to get the ball.
Yeah, but you just see the urgency on that first play. Off the rebound, Zevi Samit pushing up the court. You know, could have had a good look for Dotan had not been out of bounds. But, you know, you think that the team that's down 29 would be playing with that type of urgency. Yeshiva, just the pace they play to it doesn't really give Sarah Lawrence trouble.
As Eamon Kelly flying inside, kicks it out to Brady Berman in the corner. Couldn't get a rebound taken by Doherty, and you just saw him use all of that 6'10 frame to grab the rebound and put it back in. Oselka. Now Zachheim, Yair Dovrat. Max looking to slow things down as Zevi Samit moves inside. Great job by Samit. Couldn't land it. Rebound tipped out to Gabe Downs. Brady Berman now pushing the other way for Sarah Lawrence. Downs with a head of steam, drives in, and Gabe Downs with another layup. 61-36.
Yeah, what Sarah Lawrence is trying to do here is they're not going to play too aggressive until Yeshiva passes the timeline. Once Yeshiva gets over half court, that's when Sarah Lawrence is going to look to trap on their press. And then if it's not there, they're going to switch back into a man and play their base coverages.
As now it's Samit. Throws it inside to Yair Dovrat. Dovrat under the hoop, kicks to Bardachev in the corner. And Bardachev couldn't get the three. Now it's taken by Sarah Lawrence. Max so far scoreless in this first half. Eamon Kelly gives it out to Gabe Downs, takes the screen. Now Downs pulls up, and Gabe Downs with another basket for Sarah Lawrence. 6-0 run to start the second half for the Griffins.
Downs has been really impressive today with 13 points here early in the second half. He's looked calm, cool, and collected. He's been able to create his own shot, and he's been efficient, shooting 6 for 9 from the field.
As now it's Samit. Yair Dovrat. And a lot of aggression on down low between Oselka and Brady Berman, as Berman able to draw a foul on that play. Oselka picking up his third.
And that's a key development, I think, for Coach Steinmetz. He may be, more chill in terms of not putting Oselka out right now because he's up by 23. But Oselka definitely a potential for him to go to the bench with 3 fouls. You want him later on in the game. There's a great block by Samit.
And now it's Dovrat leading the charge. Gives it forward to Zachheim. Couldn't get it. Rebound taken by Oselka, despite a lot of contact. Ball's loose, picked up by Kim. Andrew Kim rushing down. Nice bounce pass down low to Kelly. And Eamon Kelly with a great finish. And so far, it's been all Sarah Lawrence, as they're on an 8-0 run in the first 3 minutes of this second half.
And when you're trying to come back from a large deficit like 29 points, I think you got to look like it, in terms of, can we get back to 20? And then once you're to 20, can we get to 15? Then can we get to 10? And once it's a 10-point game, anything could happen. So Sarah Lawrence with the right mindset early on.
As now it's Yair Dovrat taking the screen from Oselka. Pick and roll between the Macs. Now it's Dotan Bardachev. Took a three, lots of contact, no call. Dotan definitely got hit on the head on that one, as the three was no good. Rebound taken by Sarah Lawrence, and now it's Andrew Kim. Brady Berman. Now Doherty working on Oselka inside. Great job by Oselka. Pass is tipped, taken away, and now it's Max Zachheim for Yeshiva. Maccabee still looking to get on the board here in this second half. And now it's Yair Dovrat. Dovrat to Bardachev. And the foul called on Brady Berman as he was holding back Bardachev to receive that pass.
One thing that YU has done a really good job of today defensively is getting their hands in the passing lanes. Chris Doherty has 3 turnovers, a lot of them coming off of dribble handoffs or backdoor cuts, because these Yeshiva defenders just have their hands out as they're tracking the offensive players off the ball. And it's been a great defensive effort from Yeshiva altogether. It's a smart game plan, and we'll see if they can continue to bring the energy.
As now it's Samit. Throws it forward. The pass is taken away by Berman. And now it's Kyle Jefferson. Back to Berman. Berman couldn't connect from deep, but the rebound is taken. Tipped away by Kim. That's Jefferson for another, and Kyle Jefferson lands the three. It's been all Sarah Lawrence as they've stormed out of the locker room on an 11-0 run.
And YU's looks like they might call a timeout here. And that's what they'll do. What a run by Sarah Lawrence, cutting into 18.
Yeah, definitely not what you're looking for from the Macs. Coach Steinmetz definitely going to talk it over with his guys. And speaking of talking things over, we are going to send it to our sideline reporter, Chaim Stark, standing by with Ari Shklar's father. Chaim, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Yosef. I'm here with Mr. Shklar, Ari Shklar's father. Now, Ari's a senior here at YU. He's graduating this year. I've got a couple questions. First of all, what's your favorite memory that you have from watching Ari play basketball?
I think growing up, my favorite memory of watching Ari play basketball was the game he played as an all-star in the county all-star game, and he was chosen as the MVP after he hit a double-double. So that was, as you can imagine, we were filled with immense pride.
Must have been a special moment for you.
It was indeed.
What's it like being here for his last regular season home game here at the Maccabee Athletic Center in front of all these fans? How are you feeling being able to watch him for this last game?
Oh, it's incredible. You know, we flew up from South Carolina because that's where we're from. So we're filled with immense pride to be here, to watch him, to support you guys, watching the Macs win, hopefully. Honestly, we couldn't be any happier or filled with more pride.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Going to send it back to Yosef. Thank you so much, Mr. Shklar.
And thank you for that, Chaim. As we're going to reset the game, 61-43. Yosef Silver, Avery Stepner in the booth, 15:44 remaining. And what was almost a 30-point lead for the Maccabees into the locker room has cut its way all the way down to 18. As the Griffins have started the half on an 11-0 run. Now it's Dovrat. Noam Edry, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Moving in on Chris Doherty. Couldn't get the shot. Taken by Doherty. Andrew Kim with the ball now. Thought about the three. Now it's with Doherty. Doherty throws it over to Brady Berman. And that's going to be an offensive foul. That's going on Brady Berman. That's going to be Berman's third. That's great job by Yair Dovrat drawing the foul.
And one adjustment Coach Amer has made is put Kyle Jefferson, number 3, on Zevi Samit. He called him a defensive presence in our pre-production meeting. Just watch his energy off the ball. He's not letting Zevi Samit get any room offensively. So a good adjustment there.
As now it's Samit forward to Edry. Noam Edry working on Doherty, gets blocked. Macs have just had no answers on the offensive end here in this half, still scoreless. And now it's Kim. Kim putting it up, gets the shot and the foul. And what is going on for the Maccabees? As all of a sudden, this could be a 15-point game, not even 6 minutes in to the second half.
Yeah, and you see Noam Edry coming out of the game. Joe Shanzer replacing him. I think that's a huge part of this as Yoel Voselka went to the bench with 3 fouls. You saw on the offensive end, Noam Edry couldn't finish the play. And then on the defensive end, you're lacking that presence in the middle. Yoel Voselka's got really good hands defensively. So Yair Dovrat did not have any help. And Kim was able to get the floater to go. So I think that Voselka loss is hurting them immensely. And now we got a 15-point game. They've cut the lead in half.
And now it's Max Zakheim for Yeshiva. On that free throw, we had Noam Edry head to the bench. Joe Shanzer checked into the game for the Maccabees. Shanzer working on Thomas Matanti. Also fresh off the bench for Sarah Lawrence. That's going to be an off-ball foul on number 2, Andrew Kim. As he was holding back Max Zakheim. That's going to be Kim's third. And now an interesting development here as Chris Doherty heads to the bench. John Carews, the reserve big man, into the game for Sarah Lawrence. And now it's Bardachev. Aggressive defense here from the Griffins. Zevi Samit taking the screen from Bardachev, pulls up for 3. And Zevi Samit, he went on the QCast. He talked about how he practiced all those off-balance threes, and it definitely paid off there as he finally breaks the drought for the Maccabees. Now 64-46. Maccabees lead. Just over 6 minutes gone by here in this second half. As it's Carews. That's up top to Gabe Downs. And the pass got away from him. It's going to be Maccabees' ball as it feels like the momentum is moving back in the Maccabees' favor.
Yeah, one thing about Salmon that's so crazy, he's shooting 10 for 14 from the field. Also 5 for 8 from three-point range. He's almost a 50, 40, 90 shooter. That means he's shooting almost 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% from the free throw line. That is a remarkable statistic that, you know, is reserved for type of guys like Steph Curry or Chris Paul in the NBA.
Yeah, Zevi Samit now 5 threes away from breaking Simcha Halpert's all-time three-point record for the Maccabees. And will we see another here? That's up from Samit. No good. Rebound taken by Dotan Bardachev. Bardachev tried to put it up. That's going to be stripped by Matanti off of Sarah Lawrence. And it's going to be Maccabees ball.
Partner, one of the hallmarks of a great player is when they have the ball and, you know, time is winding down the shot clock, the crowd starts to collectively hold their breath because they think something crazy is about to happen. As there's going to be an offensive foul on Dotan. He definitely swung through, and defender caught an elbow. Dotan not happy with the call, but I think you're going to see on the replay it was the right one. But Zevi Samit just so prone to making these crazy shots. We saw that shot in the corner, and that was ridiculous. And just an exciting player to watch and providing a treat to the Max Turner Athletic Center.
As it looks like the official is going to talk something over. And on the floor now for the Maccabees, Max Zakheim, Zevi Samit, Yair Dovrat, Joe Shanzer, and Dotan Bardachev for the Griffins. We have Andrew Kim, Gabe Downs, Thomas Matanti, and it looks like they're going to send both teams to the bench. Not exactly sure what they're talking over, but as we're going to get a review on that foul that was called on Dotan Bardachev, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Chaim Stark, who's standing by with Zevi Samit's father. Chaim, take it away.
Thank you, Yosef. I'm here with David, Zevi Samit's father. Thank you for this interview. All right. First off, what are Zevi's plans post-YU, if you know?
It's a good question. I think he would like to continue playing, continue inspiring. It's hard to know exactly, but we'll see what Hashem leads him.
Excellent. If you can think, what's your favorite memory that you've had from watching Zevi play basketball? You've been in the crowd. He did a great job. What was your best memory that you had?
That's a very good question. Hopefully there's still memories to be made, but perhaps that second game way back in Illinois Wesleyan, you know, way back when he scored, almost brought the team back, and all these games that he's been playing well, they're tremendous memories.
Lastly, David, what's it like to be here for Zevi's final regular season home game? Hopefully there's many more games to come this season and possibly beyond, but what's it like to be here for his final game, celebrating all the seniors tonight?
It's pretty emotional, that's the truth. You know, the whole team as a whole has been a family for us. It's very emotional for the whole family.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samit. Yosef, we'll kick it right back to you.
Thank you, Chaim, for these interviews. As we're still waiting on confirmation of the call from the officials. It looks like the 5 for Sarah Lawrence are going to be Jefferson, Kim, Natanti, K-Ruz, and Gabe Downs. The 5 for Yeshiva, like we said before, Samit, Bardachev, Zakheim, Dovrat, and Joe Shanzer. Now, Avery, we're about 6 or 7 minutes into the second half. What have we seen so far from these teams?
Well, we've seen a 14-3 run by Sarah Lawrence. You know, they came out with a lot of energy. They were able to get some easy buckets. But I think the key was really locking in defensively. That you saw Zevi Samit did not have a lot of room. Even the three-point shot that we mentioned before from the corner was a fall away through with defenders in his face. So they've absolutely bunkered down and not given Yeshiva anything. Mentally, I touched a little bit on this before. I think for Sarah Lawrence, the key should be getting to a 10-point game. Right now, it looks to be an 18-point game. It's 64-46. If you can get it to 10 points with about 6 or 7 minutes left in the game, I think, you know, mentally you're in a good spot. You feel like you can come back from that. You know, if it's still like 15 points to 18 points at that point in the game, you know, mentally you're probably not feeling so good. So I think psychologically hitting those benchmarks as a team can come a long way.
Yeah, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors here at Max Live. If you would like to become a sponsor, please email us at yumaxlive@gmail.com. That is yumaxslive@gmail.com. And I believe they're going to uphold the foul on Dotan Bardachev. So let's reset the game. 13:08 to go. 64-46. Maccabees lead. After they went into the locker room up 29. Now only up 18. Sarah Lawrence has done a great job this half. Maccabees, though, finally feel like they're starting to get their rhythm. Andrew Kim. Now it's Jefferson. Kyle Jefferson working on Shanzer. It's going to be Downs. He's going to try to work inside. Joe Shanzer doing a great job. Downs turnaround Jay. No good. Rebound taken by Bardachev. Zachheim going the other way for Yeshiva. Now it's Yair Dovrat. Dotan Bardachev. Back to Dovrat. Dovrat working on the much smaller Jefferson. Puts it up, no good. Rebound K-Roos. Now it's Kim. Kim working on Bardachev. Now Matanti, dangerous shooter for Griffins. Pulls up. No good and hits the sixth defender. That's going to be out of bounds. 12-11 remaining here in the second half, and we're going to get a bunch of subs for Sarah Lawrence as Brady Berman, Eamon Kelly, and Chris Doherty check into the game. And I think one underrated thing about that extended review is Coach Amer had just taken out Chris Doherty to get him some rest, and all of a sudden he basically was just on the bench for 5 minutes, allowed himself to recharge, and really only missed about 1 to 2 minutes of actual action.
Yeah, I think this is a key stretch for Sarah Lawrence. It looks like Coach Steinmetz is going to keep Oselka on the bench a little longer. And if you have Chris Doherty in the game, I think now's the time you get extra physical. You try to run some of the offense through him. See if you can steal some easy buckets with Oselka not on the floor. Then defensively, makes Yeshiva a lot easier to guard because you don't have Oselka's presence in the paint. So now I'm saying now would be the time for Sarah Lawrence to really make a run and kind of kick into his second gear and come back.
Yeah, these are the opportunities you always have to take advantage when the other team is leaving some of their guys on the bench. As Zachheim lost the handle but got it back. Now Samet, deep three from Zevi Samet, but that's his spot. And Zevi Samet connects again from three, inching closer to that all-time record. Now only 4 away as he extends the lead back over to 20 now. 21-point lead for the Maccabees as it's 6-7 to 4-6 in favor of Yeshiva. Gabe Downs, number 21, moving inside. Good defense by Samet, forcing the miss.
Partner, I wonder if we got a heat check right now. Seems like he's feeling it.
Bardachev off the handoff. Now it's Zachheim slowing things down. Dovrat top of the key. Shanzer going to drive baseline. Kicks it back out to Dovrat. Dovrat to Dotan. Back to Samet. Back in that same spot. Now he's going to take the open lane. Tries to go up with it. Is able to get away to Dotan Bardachev, who connects. 69-46. So great job by the Macs off the timeout as Brady Berman loses the handle on it. And Joe Shanzer going to force a jump ball. Great defensive play from Joe Shanzer. As we were talking about Sarah Lawrence maybe taking advantage of Oselka on the bench, but it's been all Macs since that replay.
And I think that was one of the more impressive offensive possessions by Zevi Samet. With an amazing pass inside of Dotan for the layup, and it looks like it's going to be a timeout.
And with that full timeout, we're going to send it, to Chaim Stark, who is standing by with Max Zachheim's father. Chaim, take it away.
Thanks so much, Yosef. I'm here with Keith, Max's father. Got some questions for you. Firstly, do you know what Max's plans are post Yeshiva University for next year?
Yeah, Max hopes to go into coaching. So basketball coaching, still not sure where he's going to be, but he'll be at coaching at some college next year.
Very cool. All right, now let's get to the basketball side of things. Even though he might be a basketball coach, but let's get into the on-the-court basketball kind of things. What's your favorite memory that you have from watching Max play? I'm sure you've been in the stands for a lot of his games. Do you have a particular memory that stands out to you?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to go with the team 2 years ago when they did their tour of Israel in the aftermath of October 7th. And I was at the basketball game in Tel Aviv that night, and just honestly, Max being introduced on the floor and starting that night, that was incredible. So to me, that was the most magical moment of his career.
All right, lastly, what's it like being here tonight in person to watch Max's final home regular season game? Hopefully there's much more games to come, but what's it like to be here celebrating all the seniors and celebrating your son?
Yeah, I mean, it's a flood of memories. I mean, Max ultimately is one of those kids. He got every single ounce of talent that he could have out of that body. Just a lot of work, a lot of determination, and I'm incredibly proud of everything he's done in his career, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do next.
Looking forward. Wish him all the hatzlacha moving on. Thank you so much. Not Zevi. Yosef, we'll kick it back to you.
Thank you. As now it's Zevi Samet with the ball for the Maccabees. 64-46 YU lead as we approach the halfway mark of this second half. Yair Dovrat being defended by Gabe Downs. Downs doing a great job of staying in front of him. As now it's Samit who's going to work inside, kick it to the corner to Bardachev. Now Zachheim, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Zachheim going to take Kim inside. Now kicks it out to Bardachev, who can't handle the pass, and that's going to be a backcourt violation on the Maccabees.
Yeah, it was a good defensive possession. They didn't let Zevi Samit get those dribble handoffs. And I think one thing Yeshiva has done really good job of defensively, we highlighted number 5, Eitan Kelly of Sarah Lawrence, as a guy who shoots 40% from 3. You know, an absolute flamethrower when he's on. He hasn't gotten any room tonight. Yair Dovid has done an incredible job defensively on him. Eitan Kelly only with 2 points.
And now it's Downs. Working his way around. Gives it to Kim. Kim cutting inside, and Andrew Kim right on cue. With the 2 for Sarah Lawrence. Now 69-48 for lead for the Maccabees. Zachheim at the wing. Now Samit up top. Samit dribbling around. Brady Berman trying to stay in front of him. Samit creates an ounce of space and can't hit the shot. Maybe a heat check for the sharpshooter. Kim now forward to Kelly, and Eitan Kelly, way too much space, and he'll make you pay. As Eitan Kelly connects from 3, and he's one of those guys, similar like we were talking about with Thomas Matanti, that if he gets going, it could spell bad news for the Maccabees. Yair Dovid hands it off to Shanzer. Dovid. Now it's Dotan Bardichev. Dovid. Wide open, Zevi Samit down low, while couldn't connect on what would have been a really athletic finish from the guard. As now it's Andrew Kim driving straight to the basket, goes up and draws a foul. How many times have we seen Andrew Kim cutting to the basket, drawing a foul from the Maccabees and earning some free throws?
Well, one part of this is that Andrew Kim has done such a good job tonight as a passer off of those oddball actions we talked about earlier, his ability to hit Carter's back door. And now Yeshiva has adjusted, and they're playing off him a bit because they want to take away his passing lanes. But if you do that, it gives Kim, you know, an ounce of space. It gives him some room to work with. And he's a really good finisher by the basket. So Andrew Kim's been really good and has kept Sarah Lawrence within striking distance. Now down 15 with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, and it's shaping up to be a good finish here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. As that cross-court passes to Yair Dovid. Oselka back into the game for Yeshiva. Shanzer. And now it's Zachheim. Dovid calling for the screen for Oselka. Chris Doherty comes up to meet him. Now inside to Oselka, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Threw it up, couldn't get it. And once again, another fruitless possession for the Maccabees offense. Brady Berman. Now Andrew Kim. As Kim hopping around, working on Zachheim, throws it up, and another layup for Andrew Kim. He's just done an excellent job. Great touch around the basket for the senior guard for Sarah Lawrence. And now it's Yair Dovid. The Maccabees looking for a response. Sarah Lawrence on an 8-0 run. Maccabees looking to stop the bleeding, as now it's only a 13-point game for the Griffins. Zevi Samit, crazy 3. Oh my gosh. Zevi Samit, nothing more to say. Sharpshooter just taking care of business out there with that crazy 3 in the corner. And right on cue, adds another one for the Maccabees.
Yeah, I thought he got fouled on that too. They took away the landing space. Zevi Samit, just a ridiculous display of finishing tonight. I mean, these are shots. You're falling away from the basket. You got a defender draped all over you. You're getting pushed as the shot goes up. I think it can't be understated how difficult that shot is as a basketball player. And you talked about, you know, practicing those off-balance shots. There's a reason that Zevi Samit can make those. Not many other people can.
Yeah, he's just such an excellent player, and now itching closer and closer to that record. Now 3 free throws away from three-pointers, away from breaking the record, all-time record for the Maccabees. He's currently sitting at 372. He needs to hit 375 to break Simcha Halpert's 374. But now 7:48 to go. It's a 16-point lead for Yeshiva. And, you know, we've kind of seen them be a little up and down. What are they going to have to do to close out?
Yeah, I think number one, it's valuing the possessions, taking care of the ball, and just working your offense. If you can, you know, milk 20 seconds of clock off each possession and kind of bleed that time out, I think that'll be very beneficial. Then defensively, it's finding the shooters. Can you find Thomas Matanti when he's in? Can you find Eamon Kelly? Can you take away Brady Berman's driving lanes? If you can do that and make life difficult for Sarah Lawrence, you're not going to make all their shots. They're going to miss some unless you give it to them. So you really got to lock in defensively and don't give them any room.
And now it's Brady Berman for the Griffins. Back to Kelly. Griffins playing with a lot of energy as Eamon Kelly is able to land that shot. Cuts the lead to 14. Zevi Samet being pressured in the backcourt by both Downs and Berman. He's able to get out of it. Now it's Dovra. Over to Zachheim. Zachheim going to take Kim inside. Now brings it back out, and it's Oselka. Zachheim at the wing. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Dovra. Another good defensive possession from the Griffins. As it's Zevi Samet stopping on a dime, trying to throw it up, and loses a wall pad in the Max Stern Athletic Center.
Yeah, another high-level play by Zevi Samet. Splitting those two defenders on the top of a ball screen is one of the more difficult high-level things to do. I think you only see top-tier NBA players do that. You know, we're talking like Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic type stuff from Zevi Samet. Such a high-level player, so advanced. And on the last possession, we saw Eamon Kelly coming off the screen. Not a lot of resistance offered as the crowd is now cheering our athletic director on for fixing the padding behind the hoop. But Eamon Kelly had a lot of space on the last play, coming off of a couple off-ball screens, pardon me. Yeshiva's going to have to do a better job at maybe switching those or at least calling them out and giving guys like Yair Dobra more time to react off the ball defensively.
Yeah, shout out to Greg Fox. As that's a three from Joe Schanzer. As the Macs, remember, only had 3 seconds left on the shot clock, just had to throw it up, but couldn't connect. And now it's Kim taking it down for Sarah Lawrence. Throws it inside to Doherty, back out to Brady Berman. Berman moving inside on Schanzer, goes up and draws a foul from Schanzer. And they're going to count that shot. And all of a sudden, the Griffins fighting their way back into this one. Now a 12-point lead for the Maccabees. As Dotan Bardichev going to head back into the game. Joe Schanzer picking up his third.
And that's what we said before, partner. We said, can you get it to around 10 points with around 6 minutes left, 6 or 7 minutes left? If you can do that, it really mentally, you know, it makes it seem like you're still in the game. And Sarah Lawrence absolutely still in the game. They have the shooters to really get hot and to go on some crazy runs. And they're certainly on a run right now. Their press, their full court press has gotten noticeably more aggressive, trying to speed Yeshiva up. As there's a kickball, and the Sarah Lawrence bench and fan base has come alive here in the Max Stern Athletic Center.
Yes, as we get another kickball called in this gym between the Maccabees and a team wearing green. As it's going to be Yeshiva ball, 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And that pass is thrown into the front court for Dotan Bardichev. And the Maccabees go look to set up their half-court offense, which has been a little bit on and off here in the second half. Unfortunately for them, mostly off. As now it's Yair Dovrat taking the screen from Oselka. Now he'll work his way in. He's at the baseline. Now it's Samet. 3 seconds on the shot clock. He'll have to throw it up. He does. No good. Rebound taken by Zachheim. Zachheim thought he got fouled on the putback attempt. Couldn't get it. That pass is thrown, tipped away by Bardichev. Now Kelly in the corner. And Eamon Kelly. The ball bounces around and lands. And all of a sudden, it's an 8-point lead for Yeshiva with 6:07 remaining.
Yosef, momentum is a real thing in basketball. Momentum is a real thing. Sarah Lawrence, a ton of energy, and they're being rewarded right now with an 8-point game.
And with that timeout, we're going to send it down to Chaim Stark, who's standing by with Zevi Samet's grandfather. Chaim, take it away.
Thank you, Yosef. I'm here with Dr. Samet. And Doctor, I'd like to ask you, we see Zevi on the court all the time. He's so fantastic, hitting all these shots. But even off the court, he makes such an impact for his teammates. What does it mean to you, as his grandfather, that he's such a uplifter for all of his teammates off the court?
Yeah, we're very proud of Zevi and all the work he does off the court. I hope you can hear me here. But the reason he's able to do that is because he's such a successful and star player. But the other teammates, they look up to him and they respect him and he helps them with their everyday lives and tries to bring them more Yiddishkeit, and he's doing a great job at that.
One more question, Doctor. What's it like to be here watching Zevi in maybe his last home game at Yeshiva University?
Well, look, it's thrilling to watch him play and to watch how he contributes to the wins of these teams. And we got to look forward to the playoffs. This is last year playing, but very exciting to watch him.
Thank you so much, Doctor. The playoffs are going to be so exciting. For now, we'll kick it right back to Yosef. Yosef, pick us up.
Thank you for that, Chaim. Always great to hear from Zevi Samet's grandfather, a man of many words. As now, it's Yair Dovrat powering his way through, and he'll get called for an offensive foul as Eamon Kelly was standing straight up in defense. They're going to say Dovrat lowered the elbow on this play.
Yeah, Dovrat didn't really need to do that. He had the size advantage, could have just shot over him. But like I said, momentum's a real thing, and now with 6 minutes left, it's an 8-point game. Sarah Lawrence absolutely in it, and they're just a lot more hot right now shooting the ball. 65% at the second half for Sarah Lawrence, 21% for Yeshiva. Sarah Lawrence with the upper hand at the moment.
And the fans now back into this one, trying to cheer the Maccabees on to a conference clinching win. As it's Berman going to move inside, pulls up. And it was no good. Rebound taken by Dotan Bardachev. Zevi Samet taking it down for the Macs. They can really use a bucket. Another 8-0 run for the Maccabees, for the Griffins. And Zachheim couldn't get the floater. 18-3 run for the Griffins in the last 5 or so minutes. Eamon Kelly now out to Downs. Gabe Downs 4-3. Couldn't get it, and that went through the 6th defender. Once again, another sighting of the 6th defender. He's been pretty popular tonight. As the Maccabees going to inbound the ball with just over 5 remaining.
I think it'll be interesting to see if Yeshiva can get any source of offense outside of Zevi Samet. The 4 field goals they made this half have mainly been Zevi Samet miraculous shots or passes. Maybe Max Zachheim or Yair Dovrat coming off of ball screens to try to get something going.
And now it's Samet, Zachheim, Yair Dovrat, Dotan Bardachev, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Max Zachheim going to work his way in, and Andrew Kim is going to get called for a foul, and that's going to be Kim's 4th. We'll see if Coach Amer decides to send him to the bench or not. But that could be a development. He's been electric over the past couple minutes for the Griffins offense.
And he's a source of their calmness offensively and their ball movement. I think it'd be an utter disaster if he gets out of the game right now. I think you have to let it ride and just trust the veteran guard that he can handle himself.
And Samet working off 2 screens. Now Zachheim pulls up for 3. Couldn't connect. Taken out by Brady Berman the other way. Berman, wide open lane, goes up, and Brady Berman hits the transition bucket as the Macs kind of rolled out the red carpet towards the basket.
Partner, it was a 29-point lead at halftime. It's now down to 6 with 4 minutes left. What a comeback for the Griffins.
As now it's Samet, Zachheim, Bardachev, Oselka. Yoav Oselka working inside, goes up against Doherty. And that's going to be out of bounds off of Doherty, as the refs have been letting both teams kind of play things out on that end of the floor.
Yeah, I think with both guys sitting at 3 fouls, you don't want either of them to come out of the game unless it's an egregious foul. Yair Dovrat throwing it off the back of the inbound defender.
Just a heads-up play, shows you the IQ from the freshman sensation, Yair Dovrat, as we'll see on the replay. Chris
Not
Doherty,
sure I've ever seen that before in this gym.
Definitely not in this gym. But
maybe in the NBA All-Star game, which is happening tomorrow, but it's also a huge play because now it's, unfortunately the announcer jinx comes into effect, but if you can make this free throw, you get it to 7 points. That's now a 3-possession game. And with under 4 minutes left, those possessions, the amount of possessions you have left to catch up becomes crucial. If you can keep it to 6 or under, I think that's huge for Sarah Lawrence.
As Dovrat on cue connects on the second. So now 73-66 lead for the Maccabees. Under 4 minutes remaining. Andrew Kim, top of the key. Gives it to Berman, poked away by Bardachev. Berman gets it back, taking it inside. Fans wanted to travel, no call. And now the Macs have numbers if they want it. 5-on-3 for the Maccabees. Dotan Bardichev into the corner for Zachheim. Cross court to Dovrat. Yair Dovrat gonna pull. Front iron, and it hits the 6th defender as the Maccabees had a golden opportunity with 2 Griffins stuck in the back court but couldn't take advantage.
Yeah, they saw Dovrat a little too late. He was waiting too long for the pass, and by the time he got it, defender is already in his face. Crucial possession defensively for the Macs right now. They cannot lose Eamon Kelly off of these screens.
And now it's Kim at the top of the key. Takes the screen from Doherty. Kim powering his way inside. And Andrew Kim. We've seen him fly through those lanes as he did right there. Andrew Kim now up to 15 points, 17 points for the Griffins. Yair Dovrat in the corner. Up top to Oselka, hands off to Samet. The Max sharpshooter with 10 seconds on the shot clock takes the screen from Oselka, working his way inside, goes up. Couldn't get the layup, rebound taken by Doherty. And Sarah Lawrence gonna look to push. As Kim tipped it into Kelly. Now back to Kim, and Sarah Lawrence will set up their offense. 2:41 remaining. Only a 5-point lead for the Maccabees in what was barely a game at the halftime buzzer. Gabe Downs working on Zachheim. Zachheim doing a great job to stay in front of him. Now Kelly pulls the trigger for 3. No good. Rebound taken by Max. Zachheim up to 8 rebounds on the day. 11, 8, and 7 for the Maccabee senior. As now it's Oselka. Dovrat. Zevi Samet. And Samet working it around. Now Yair Dovrat puts it up, and Yair Dovrat connects for a clutch 2 points for the Maccabees. Now 75-68. Maccabees lead. As now there's under 2 minutes remaining here in this game. Crowd very much alive, urging the Macs for a win as that's poked away, picked up by Kim. Brady Berman for 3. Couldn't get it, rebounds tipped out, now taken by Kim. Kim working his way back inside, ball's loose, who's got it? Chris Doherty picks it up, and he tries to throw it off of Max Zachheim, and he will get it. As it's gonna be 13 seconds on the shot clock, Sarah Lawrence to inbound baseline.
Also crucial time coming off of the game clock, now only a minute 37 seconds left. And 13 seconds left on the shot clock. The Griffins are going to need a quick trigger on this inbounds play. They're going to have their best to get a shooter open.
And now it's Kim. Gabe Downs. Downs working his way in. Too strong on the layup. And that ball bounces around. An unfortunate bounce for the Maccabees, as it's going to be off of Dotan Bardichev and retain Griffin's ball, 18 on the shot clock. Inside, and that pass is tipped away, taken by Samet. And they're going to get Kim for the foul. He was trying to stay straight up and made contact with Samet. That's 5 for Kim. And Andrew Kim going to head to the bench, and that's huge for the Tides of this game.
What a great job defensively by Oselka. We talked about earlier, the impact was missed greatly with his ability to use his hands in those passing lanes, his ability to be disruptive with a 6'8" frame. He's really changed his game tonight. I really think he's been underrated. Maybe not the stat sheet stuffer that he's been throughout the season, but his impact and his physicality cannot be understated.
As with 1:26 to go, the Maccabees currently hold a 7-point lead, and they will inbound the ball at half court. So the Maccabees just have to hold on to it here.
Partner, you wonder if maybe the Griffins get more aggressive, try to trap a little bit and force a turnover because they don't have a lot of time left. And it looks like they'll just foul instead. Fouling Oselka, which is a smart thing to do because he's not the best free throw shooter for the Macs. But one thing to note, Chris Doherty was the one who fouled him there. And that'll be his 3rd.
Yeah, and for the Griffins, I understand that Doherty is Oselka's man, but if you planned on fouling, I would try to get somebody else to commit the foul. The first one from Oselka is good. The Maccabees actually lead the Skyline Conference 75.6% from the line. Although of the guys on the court, Yoav Oselka was definitely the guy to foul, only shooting 65%, but only 52% in his career against Sarah Lawrence. Although Oselka makes him pay, connects on both. Timeout by Coach Elliot Steinmetz, trying to reset the defense with 1:20 to go. Don't go anywhere. We're going to send it to a very quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey Macs fans, it's Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel and proud YU graduate. Thanks for all your support over the years. If you're headed to Israel, please come and volunteer with us. We need your help so we can serve hundreds of thousands of needy Israelis every week. And of course, go Macs!
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. As the Maccabees lead 77-68. Yoav Oselka just connected on 2 free throws, caused by a Andrew Kim foul, which knocked him out of the game. It's going to be an offensive lineup here for the Griffins. They're keeping their guys out with Kelly, Downs, Berman, Matanti, and Doherty. The Maccabees as well keeping their 5. As it's Gabe Downs, 1:15 to go. That's a 3 from Matanti. No good, but that's tipped in. I don't even know if that was Doherty or one of the Macs. But Coach Chris Amer going to call a full timeout. So quick bucket from the Griffins. As it looked like that was Doherty on the tip. But now 77-70 lead for the Maccabees.
Yeah, and a smart timeout by Coach Amer, because now, after the make and the timeout, you get to set up your defense in any way you see fit. I would expect a very aggressive trapping scheme. You try to trap a little bit early on the shot clock. If you can get a steal, then great. If not, and you foul, I'm assuming whenever the ball gets to Yoav Oselka or any other Max free throw shooter not named Zevi Samit. That was also a great play call there by Coach Amer. Got a quick shot for Matanti. Couldn't get to go, but Doherty using a 6'10 frame to tap that one in. If you're Sarah Lawrence, you trap, and then you foul the non-free throw shooters, which is what they're doing. If you're the Max, you take care of the ball. In the worst case scenario, you take a 5-second violation. You cannot turn the ball over right now. You cannot give Sarah Lawrence any free buckets. If Sarah Lawrence can get this to 5 in the next 10 seconds off the steal, then they don't have to foul. They can play out the possessions.
And that'll be huge for the Maccabees, something that they struggled with early in the year. It's gotten a lot better over the last stretch. But it's really just getting the ball over half court, maintaining possession, not committing unwarranted turnovers. As it's going to be Dovrat to inbound. Gives to Samit. Lots of pressure from the Griffins. Back to Dovrat. Back to Samit. And the ball gets forward in Maccabee's possession. Now it's Zachheim. Zachheim gets bumped by Brady Berman. And Zachheim will go to the line for 1-and-1. That's going to be Berman's 4th. As with just under a minute to go, the Red Rocket going to get some opportunities at the line.
Yeah, Sarah Lawrence had some good traps there. They had their chances. And as far as free throw shooters go, Max Zachheim, the senior, has been extremely clutch throughout his career from the line.
Yeah, and Max Zachheim, second in Skyline in free throw shooting percentage. Connects 2 of 2 from there. 83.9% headed into this game. As it's Downs. Takes off the screen from Matanti. Now Eamon Kelly. Into the corner from Matanti. Sarah Lawrence is going to have to get something up, down 9 points. Gabe Downs inside to Berman. And Brady Berman connects. As now it's going to be Bardashev to inbound. And they left Samit open. Zevi Samit in the front court. And he'll slow things down. Draw the foul from Eamon Kelly. And the Stark shooter going to head to the line for the Macs, now up 7 with 41.7 seconds remaining.
That last offensive possession took way too much time for the Griffins, and then they didn't get back and track Zevi Samit. So just another wasted opportunity. And you're probably at the point, if you're Sarah Lawrence, where you need to put up a 3-pointer.
As now it's Downs, bringing it down. 36 seconds remaining. He gets locked up. Goes to the corner for Matanti. Matanti gets Zachheim flying, then pulls up from 2. And that's good from Thomas Matanti. 29.9 seconds remaining. Now a 5-point lead for the Griffins. This is still very much a game for these teams. As you see Alex Kurievsky coming out to meet Zevi Samit. Shout out to Alex Kurievsky. It's his birthday today. Birthday boy for the Macs, making an impact even if it's not physically on the court.
Well, important to note, partner, it's now Sarah Lawrence is up to 9 fouls, so the next one will be 2 shots. So even if Yeshiva misses the first, they'll have a chance to make the second. But if Yeshiva does not convert both free throws, it is now a 2-possession game, and Sarah Lawrence presumably in the huddle, will draw up a play, try to get themselves a three-pointer. Of course, you're hoping you don't need that if you can get a steal defensively. I think if you're Coach Amer, you tell your team you can trap for a few seconds, take a couple gambles, and then after a few seconds, if you see you're not getting anything, then you foul with around 22, 21 seconds left, and then play out from there.
And I think for the Macs, the key is going to try to get the ball. They're going to try to get the ball into Zevi Samet's hands. But we've seen Oselka hit free throws as well. You know, presumably you're going to get to the line, like you were saying, whether it's right away or whether it's off of a little bit of a delay. You know, you have the opportunity to make this a three-possession game if you hit both free throws. That's going to be huge for the Maccabees. You know, we saw it in their first game of the season. Obviously, there's been a lot of growth since then. Their inability to connect from the free throw line and really close things out. That'll have to come up huge tonight. As Dotan Bardichev is the one who gets the ball. He brings it into the front court, and he gets fouled by Gabe Downs, as it's going to be Dotan Bardichev who's going to shoot for the Maccabees.
Yeah, Dotan, probably one of the guys that you would want to foul here in the situation. He's shooting 66% from the free throw line on the season, 50% in his career against Sarah Lawrence, and a huge couple free throws coming up.
That's the first one, front iron from Bardichev. So now it will still be a two-possession game, but if he could get this next one here, it would force a three from Sarah Lawrence. Could be huge. Has back iron on the second. So too short on the first, too strong on the second. It's going to be Sarah Lawrence taking the ball. You'd obviously rather a three, but they just need a bucket. Gabe Downs taking a while to do anything. 15 seconds. Gabe Downs just throwing it up. No good. Ball's loose. Rebound taken by Zevi Samet as he dives on the floor. That's going to be a foul on Gabe Downs, sending Samet to the line. Great effort from the sharpshooter, forcing himself on top of the ball and earning a possession for the Maccabees. As with 10.8 seconds to go, the sharpshooter headed to the line. Maccabees in a really good position to close this one out.
Yeah, Gabe Downs has been really good today. He's got 15 on the game. But he just got caught in no man's land there with Jarrett Dovid all over him. An incredible defensive possession. And they ran a ton of time on the clock. And now Yeshiva in prime position to get themselves the number one seed in the Skyline Conference and get the inside track to the NCAA tournament, potentially higher seed in the NCAA tournament, as Zevi Samet makes the first, the senior on senior night, with 36 points.
Yeah, and talk about all the seniors tonight. Dotan Bardichev played such a big role. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Max Zachary 13, 8, and 7 from the senior guard. Samet connects on both. As now it's Downs picks it up. They're going to have to hurry. Down 3 possessions. Gabe Downs picks up his dribble. 5 seconds. Eamon Kelly, 4 seconds. Puts it up. No good. Rebound by Max Zachheim. And as the buzzer sounds, the Maccabees are going to pull this one out, 81-74. And the road to the NCAA tournament runs right through Yeshiva. Unbelievable win here from the Maccabees as they lock up the number one seed in the Skyline Conference, earning themselves home court throughout the entire Skyline Conference tournament. And you got to think that's huge for these players.
Absolutely huge. And you saw the crowd tonight. It got really loud, especially as Sarah Lawrence came back. The defensive chants raining down from above. And you know it's going to be ×2 when we get to the playoffs. We know how rowdy the Yeshiva fans get, so that's going to be huge. Sarah Lawrence, I think it's important to highlight their ability to come back tonight. They were down 29 points at halftime. Nothing was going their way. But they got it down to 5 points at the end of the game. They're very close to coming back. Almost won the game, had a chance at the end. So an incredible comeback. And I have a feeling that we'll see these two teams again battle out sometime in the playoffs.
Yeah, and with the loss from Sarah Lawrence tonight, that means the top 3 seeds in the Skyline Conference are now locked. With Yeshiva at number 1, Farmingdale State at number 2, and the Sarah Lawrence Griffins locking up the number 3 seed tonight. So Yeshiva will play the 8. It will be that Yeshiva will play the 8, Farmingdale will play the 7, Sarah Lawrence will play the 6, and then obviously the 4 and the 5 will go as they go. And we're just waiting on our player of the game for a quick interview.
And partner, you just got to give a big shout out to Zevi Samet with 37 points on a day. This might have been one of his best games as a Mac, just from a, calming the team standpoint, setting the tempo standpoint, taking care of the ball. He was great as a distributor. And now we got our friends over at Max Live, our sideline reporter Chaim Stark down with Max Zachheim, ready for a post-game interview. Chaim, take it away.
Thank you, Avery. Here with the Max player of the game, Max Zachheim. All right, Max, you guys came out to a commanding lead, but then they started to kind of make it close. How are you able to maintain that lead and keep your cool?
Yeah, I mean, we got to obviously do a better job of just continuing to run our stuff for 40 minutes. We got to do a better job of running our stuff for 40 minutes. You know, they did some things. They did some things in the second half. You know, we were up 30 at half. They're not going to come out and do the same exact things. But you know, having Zevi Salmon's great. You know, able to make some tough shots when we need them most. But overall, we just got to do a better job of playing for 40 minutes, because when we do that, there's no team in this conference that can play with us. You know, within 20 points.
You had your family here cheering you on. What was it like to have them here as you clinched home court during the Skyline Conference?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, my family's everything to me, and you know, they obviously support me through my whole basketball journey. So it was great to have my family here. My mom's actually not here; she's in Paris. But most of my family was here, and it was awesome. You know, big clinch, first time in our 4 years that we're the one seed in the conference. So that's a huge accomplishment.
All right. Lastly, you guys so far in the regular season, best team in the Skyline Conference. What's one thing that you would say your team does better than anybody else?
I think that the big thing this year for us was being able to defend, and I think we've shown that the last 10 or so games that we're as good as any team defensively in the conference. And look, we know on the offensive side of the ball that we can score and we can make plays, but the biggest thing for us was to defend. And I think this year we've shown that we could be amongst the best teams in our conference defensively, and then with our offensive prowess, we're a team that can't be stopped, I think, in this conference. So I'm excited for the playoffs.
Anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out my family, my friends. Thank my friends for coming, and just Max Nation.
All right, thank you, Max. Player of the game for the Macs. Have a great night. Good job.
And thank you for that interview, Chaim. And Avery, was just an incredible game back and forth between two hard-fought teams. An 81-74 Maccabees win. Just any final thoughts on tonight's game?
I think Max said it all in the post game. If Yeshiva's running their stuff and they're on their game, there's no one in this conference that can come within 20 points of this team. You know, it's an arrogant statement, but it's true. Yeshiva has really been their best when their best is needed. We saw that dominant win against Farmingdale this year, a few weeks ago. They're 2-0 against Sarah Lawrence. We know their non-conference schedule and how they were able to compete. Obviously they didn't have the success they wanted. They went 1-7, but their resume really speaks for itself. And the great thing about basketball, though, is you got to play it. You got the playoffs. You got to play the playoffs. You can't just win based off of what you've done in the past. Yeshiva's got some really tough teams ready to go on their schedule in the playoffs. They're going to have to be ready to go, firing on all cylinders. They'll get Roy Itzkovich back, which is going to be huge. But overall, huge win tonight, 81-74, an all-around team effort.
Yeah, and like we were talking about before, with Roy not being here, we were wondering who was going to step up. And I think it was really just a team effort in terms of, Dotan had a great game. Obviously, Max had a great game. Zevi dropped a relatively casual 37 points. Basically just what we've seen from the Stark shooter overall. But just really an impressive team performance from the Maccabees. And then just looking forward to the Skyline Conference. We got Yeshiva locked in at number 1, Farmingdale State locked in at number 2, Sarah Lawrence locked in at number 3, which is most likely going to be Maritime, maybe St. Joe's Long Island, in at the 4 seed. Purchase, is in fight for the 5, if not the 6. Whichever one between Maritime, St. Joe's, Long Island, maybe even Old Westbury could get there. And then we're talking about the Macs facing a team like Manhattanville or a team like Old Westbury, most likely in the playoffs. Obviously, we'll get confirmation next Saturday night once Skyline Conference play finishes. The next game coming up for the Maccabees is going to be Wednesday night at Mount St. Mary. That's going to be a 6 o'clock game where the Maccabees will look, they've just clinched with a 1 seed in the conference for the first time since the 2019-2020 season, when they did pretty well in the tournament before it was ultimately canceled by COVID. And they'll be looking to go undefeated in the conference for the first time since that team as well. For the Griffins, their next game will also be on Wednesday night, where they will be taking on the Manhattanville Valiants, as that game will be in Sarah Lawrence in Bronxville. And we would like to thank, before we close out tonight's game, we'd like to thank JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, for bringing Max Live to television viewers across the country. JBS celebrates Jewish identity, culture, and education through its around-the-clock programming And we're so grateful to the Hode family for once again making this season's broadcast possible. We'd also like to thank everyone involved in this broadcast, including our executive director, Eitan Traurig, executive producer, Dovid Samson, and director, Jarrett Lazarus, associate producer, Zachary Sicklick, researchers Matthew Lauren and Yaakov Lazar, and our camera operators, Shlomo Alter, Harry Fleischner, Moshe Laub, and Aryeh Bluth. But that'll do it for us for tonight's game. Once again, an 81-74 win for the Maccabees, who have now clinched the #1 seed in the Skyline Conference. For Avery Stepner, I'm Yosef Silver. Have a great night.